Welcome back to Small Talk with Stacy. I'm gonna sip a little bit of tea this morning. It's not piping hot, but it's warm enough, hopefully, to be entertaining to you. This is the Tuesday after Labor Day, and I'm headed into work in the office today, and I'm like on struggle mode. Not even from fatigue, just like I just want to be home. No, I just want to be rich. How about that? I just want to be rich. I just don't want to work. How about that? Ambition aside and all of that good stuff. I don't want to work. You know what I'm saying? I just want to be free to get up, go to yoga and Pilates, and go volunteer and go sip coffee at a cafe. You know, just be at my leisure. That's what I want to do. This sunlight ain't doing me no good this morning, but there are some things. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I had a pretty chill weekend. It was good and it was chill. And in my chill time, I watched Lee Daniels' new movie. I watched the Braxtons. And I reflected on the Cam Newton and Nick Cannon interviews with Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Let's give her full name. First of all, as far as the movie review, I did watch it, and I was going to sit and just itemize everything, and this was this, and this was this, and this. And the movie doesn't warrant that to me. And I'm not a holy roller, but I'm just saying, if you're a Christian, I don't even think you should watch the movie. I really don't. The movie may be more so for non-believers, in my opinion. Deliverance is something that people who are non-believers don't know, don't believe in, because they don't believe in the spiritual world. And it was a true story, which makes it kind of spooky. So as far as if you just want to know the acting, they want to talk about Glenn Close. She's always been an amazing actress, and she did what an actress does. She transforms herself. She becomes the character. She did that. Monique is a great actress, always has been, despite her kerfluffle, as they call it, with the entertainment business. She did a good job. Was it outstanding? Was it great? It was a good job. The role itself wasn't like, it didn't magnify her acting or anything like that. But she did a good job. Audra Day, who to me has proven to be a good actress because she played in Lee Daniels' movie about Billie Holiday. She did a wonderful job there, and she did a great job here playing a single mom. Her husband, she wasn't a single mom. She was operating as a single mom because she had a husband that was in the military over in Afghanistan, and so she had the children, so it was her responsibility. Glenn Close was her mother, and who was a recovering addict, and now she was a holy roller. She was saved, spiritually speaking, turned her life around, and now she was living with her daughter and her grandchildren. She was going through cancer and things like that in the movie. So the details of that and how that played out was all fine and good, but I just don't subscribe to movies that have demonic tones to them. And even though it was a true story, it could have been a story that was left untold. And like I said, if you're a Christian, I just don't really think that you should watch it. I'm sorry. There was no entertainment value. I spent the movie praying, praising, rebuking, Because, you know, you watching TV and you just never know. I don't even want to get into this whole spirit realm stuff, but I just wouldn't advise it. And, yeah, I just wouldn't advise it. And that's that. I have no more. The children did a good job. I have not seen those. I've seen the oldest, the young man that played the oldest son. I've seen him in another movie, but I don't know his good government name to tell it out. And the other two actors who played the children, they did a good job. I don't know their names. And I know this is an old dry movie review. It just did not. It didn't have it. I don't find value. I don't find value. It wasn't poorly done. It wasn't all the things. I don't have any. I'm not being critical in that sense. I just don't think it was spiritually responsible to do. I just don't think it was spiritually responsible to do. And I question why he even did it. I don't know. Now to the Braxtons. I'm not going to, my plan, unless requested, but my plan is not to give a review week by week, because the show overall is the same. To me, their mama, Miss E, is toxic. It's I don't know what. And I know, you know, they honor their mother. We're all supposed to honor our parents. I agree with that and all of that. But there's a point when you have to stand up for who you are. You can't, your father cheated on your mother. She's bitter about it. And you should not take on that bitterness and resentment. They don't see, all of the daughters do not see, or maybe they do, some of them do, or maybe they're starting to recognize, yes, we honor our mother, but we cannot allow her influence in our lives to affect us. They all had terrible marriages. They all suffer from low self-esteem. They all, you know, it just, I'm a fan of them as a collective. This season, they are going through the aftermath of losing their beloved sister, Tracy. And to me, because I've watched their show since the inception of the show, from day one, I struggle. Now, grief is grief. And just because you know, I believe they love Tracy as their sister. I believe their mother loved her as her daughter. But they didn't like her. And that was evident in how they treated her. She absolutely, I'm sorry, she absolutely suffered the consequence of having a child early, getting married early, and that didn't go well with the music industry. The other sisters went on to pursue what would be their future, their destiny, and you made a decision for your life. That does not mean that I have to alter mine because of that. I 1,000% agree with that. But there was no grace. There was no gentleness, at least as it seems, to how they treated her. Like even the title on the show, when the characters on the show on reality shows, they give them a title. So-and-so's friend, or the superstar, the this. Under Tracy's name, at least the first season or so, it had wannabe. How cruel is that? How cruel is that you would call her wannabe, even though she wanted to be a part of her sister circle? She wanted to make amends for what she didn't do prior. And there was no allowance for that. Again, I understand that. Life goes on. They were past that. They weren't of the Braxtons anymore. Tony made a splash on the scene. She was a solo act. There was no room for them to get back together. It just wasn't possible. And that just could not be accepted. But I don't like how it was handled. Telling her that she was fat and just, berating her looks. You didn't like her. And I almost want to say that's okay, because sometimes if the person if they weren't your family member, you for surely probably wouldn't be friends. but they didn't treat her well. So now to turn around and act as if they did feels fake and phony, and it's hard to receive. There's a struggle with, you know, her memorial celebrations, and you know, her husband is upset because he, you know, he's the husband. He thought he should have been able to make her, prepare her for her final rest. But her wishes was to have her son do it. And to me, that speaks volumes. Instead of sharing it, he was her only son. She only had one son. And you can't treat people a certain way. You can't cheat on people. You can't fight people. You can't talk down on people. You can't do all of this other stuff and then have this epiphany of how much they meant to you when they're gone. Because you cannot make up. They can't feel how much you love them, how much you care for them, how much you appreciate them, how much you value them in their life when they're gone. So she she made sure that her son was in charge, and now the husband is having some difficulty, and the storyline is that the family is now going against him. Because just like they saw how he treated her as her husband, he wiped away tears and had conversations and hugged her and comforted her when she was at odds with her sisters and her mother. The mother's upset because she still had a relationship with the father. Bad husband and bad father is not the same thing. Being hurt that that you found out how human he was, and being a bad father is not the same thing. It just isn't. And we all feel the way that we feel. We all want loyalty. We all want love. I get it. But there has to become a point where you understand. You might not condone something, but you understand. You have to accept a thing for what it is and move on. Especially if it's something that you don't have the power to change. Someone's heart, how someone feels, what someone does, especially as adults. I was just telling someone the other day, one of the hardest things in life as an adult is that we can't make people be who we want and or need them to be, which is more importantly. We have to accept it for what it is and move on and find and be found for what is that, for those things that are for us. And that's that on that. They didn't treat that woman well. Tamar, she hasn't changed. But let me say this. I don't have to agree with everything that she does and how she acts in order to feel like she shouldn't change. Some people just have a more magnetic personality. And the success of the show catapulted her to heights that she wanted, which is to be famous. Tony has sucked all of the fame out of the family, and they were in her shadow. It's the Kelly and Michelle effect. Even though I personally think that Kelly and Michelle stand alone, they are wonderful in their own rights. I feel the same way about the Braxton sisters. But when someone else's shine gets more attention, not that the shine is better, because Tamar is actually a better singer than all of them. Let the record show that. And they admit that. But Tony's shine just got more attention, and you just cannot get from under the shadow, especially when the masses are rallying for someone. That was Tony's time. But the popularity of the show catapulted Tamar. And I believe because the family structure was so used to Tony being famous, they had accepted that. They had absorbed that. Tony allowed them to work for her in the background. Like, she put people on, gave people jobs. You know, their system was already set up. And Tamar comes along, her and her husband, Vince, become the stars of the show. It cracked. I don't want to say it cracked the foundation, but it moved away the shield that showed the crack in the foundation of that family. And they struggle to bounce back from that because what they thought they knew is not what really was. Who they really are is not who they really were. Trina showed her her second marriage, which was to Gabe, breakup. She's now with Vaughn. It appears to be a happy and healthy relationship. So it seems like she's kind of stepped away and took inventory of her life. She loves her family, respects her family, but she lives her life for her. I love that for her. Tamar is struggling. Her mental health. But it's because, when everything and everyone comes against you, that is difficult, especially when you've been loved. The people who love you innately, supposed to love you and support you and be there for you no matter what turn against you. Her family. All of a sudden she's spoiled, but you're the one who spoiled her. It was a lot. So Tawanda, I think she's still trying to find her way and find her place in life and in the family, and you can tell that, in my opinion, she is the sensible one, and in light of Virgo season, Team Virgo, she's the one that makes it all better. She thinks things out, and she is the person that brings things. She's the problem solver of the family. So that's where she finds her worth, which is why you see her always problem solving for Tony, always problem solving for everybody in the family. So one thing I also don't like, they're showing that they're rallying around Tracy's son. And now Tawanda is giving him a nickname. Oh, I always call him Scratchy. But how come everybody in the family was like, oh, I've never seen this before. I've never heard this before. Who is Scratchy? Who is that? Please don't make something more than what it is. Please. He is, he's not having the best. Kevin Jr. is not having the best relationship with his dad right now. He's lost his mom. He's an only child. He's going through a divorce. He's going through a lot. Support him, yes, but don't support him on the falsehood that you all have always been there for him. He has this nickname that shows like an endearment with him, and I'm not saying that they don't love him, but don't present something to be something different than what it was. You told your truth, and I think that's honorable. You all showed the realness of your family. That is honorable. Leave it at that. Work from that place. Don't try to rewrite history because we've already seen it. The magic trick. If we see how you pull the rabbit out the hat, you can't put him back in and then try to show us a different way, because we've seen it. We've seen it. But so now we're gonna move on to Cam Newton and Nick Cannon. So I don't really have much to say because Dr. Cheyenne Brand said it all. They are low functioning. I personally, before her videos, didn't know the difference between low functioning and low value. And the high value portion is they are men of means. And you're doing something for yourself. You have accomplished some things. You're successful in your own right, regardless of what it is that you're doing. You're high value. High functioning is when you have self-love. You've healed. You've worked on yourself to get over traumas, and you present yourself and exist in a world based on love and gentleness and setting boundaries and being just healthy in your interactions with yourself and others. The difference to me, so what I saw in those videos, those interviews, is that what's always been true. A strong woman can change a man's life. Both of those men are high value, and so is she. And she came in there with her education and her experience, her knowledge. They couldn't stand next to her in that area. They couldn't stand next to her. They tried and they stumbled every time. All I saw was them trying to make excuses for the behaviors that they had. Made excuses for creating broken homes. That's wild to me. So what's wild to me is that we made families. I want kids. I did this, and marriage is this, that, and the third, and blah, blah, blah. Marriage is a bad thing, but creating families and kids all over the place is good. They're creating life and they're taking care of their kids. But they tore Erykah Badu up for having children, 3 children by 3 different fathers, although those fathers are high value. I don't know how functioning they are, but they have value. Tore her up. They tear Joy Chavez up, who has children with Future, Little Bow Wow, and now most recently, over the past couple weeks actually, and I don't know his name, but he's a football player, professional NFL player. They all kind of hoes. They all kind of secure in the bag, you know, all of this. But for these high value men, I see everybody making excuses. Yeah, I agree with Dr. Brian, but you know, Cam does this. His kids live with him, and Yeah, the kids live with him, but they don't live with their mother. Which is the opposite of Nick Cannon. The kids live with the mothers and not with him. The difference is they still don't have the same equal time with both parents. Yes, child support in the form of finance is important. Creating and providing a lifestyle for children that provides for their basic needs of a roof and clothes and food, but also experiences, activities and travel and sports and education and private school. And yes, all of that is good. But there, you have to be present. Your kids learn from you. They are of you and they learn from you, but they can't do that if you're not there. And Cam, while his kids may live with him, and being high value, he out there making money. He not home all the time. So now what? Nick Cannon, I'm not even going to address him because you have 12 children with 6 women. There's no way possible. And it's high value. You have all these shows, and as hard as he works, there's absolutely no way that he can spread himself equally. Even spread thin is it's not enough for 12 children. It's just impossible. I have nothing. He even himself talked about how he preyed on women who actually have low self-esteem, they're low functioning. To know that a man saw who you were and went after you for his own selfish gain is disgusting. But these women obviously didn't see it coming. Didn't see it coming. I don't know. I don't know, because they thought that he appears to operate at a certain level. That he was different, which means that they were different. But no, you're still a baby mama. You're still creating broken homes, and it's still going to affect your children negatively. So I don't know. But you know, I saw Cam Newton sit there. He was a little boy in a man's body sitting there talking to her. Strong women change men. And I hope both of those interviews and the virality of those interviews changes their life. You can't the kids are made. The kids are here. But I hope it changes them as men, changes them as fathers, and changes how they, going forward, how they move in selecting their significant others. And create a home, not just have a house. Create a home for the family, not just houses all over the place, right? So, tell me what you think, and I want you to stop what you're doing right now. I'm gonna give you a few moments. Like this video. If you watch it, like it. If you watch it and don't like it, give me a comment and tell me what I could do better. I'm out here. This vlogging and YouTube channels, it ain't as easy as it looks. Trust and believe. It is not. But I appreciate every view. I appreciate every like, and I appreciate every comment. I appreciate every share. And I appreciate absolutely every subscriber. I'm up to 98. Might not mean much, but I only told 5 people in January that I did this. So to have 93 other people who I don't know subscribe to my channel is amazing. And I want to say thank you. And I'm just going to continue to work and grow it and just see how far it goes. I have I have nothing on it. I just want to see where it goes. And hopefully it'll go up. Hopefully it'll go up. But anyway, stop, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Talk to you soon. Ciao.